Okay, peeps, welcome back. So today we're going to be going over the KLIP dividend or distribution announcement. This is for the KLIP ETF, which is the China Internet Covered Call ETF from kweb, or I believe it's kweb. Kweb? Well, Crane shares. My bad. So, anyways, with that being said, let's get it. So, we're on the portfolio here, as you guys can see. We do still have our shares of KLIP. Nothing's changed. We haven't sold it. We haven't bought any more yet. Just kind of sitting on the shares at this point. So it says we're down $488, but that's actually not true because if we factor in the distributions, we are actually in the positive. We can just go ahead and go over here real quick, but you guys can see that we got 1, 2, 3 dividends there. That's about $300. Then another $100. You can see that pretty much already almost offsets the unrealized loss. That's 500, roughly about 600, and just keep on going down. So yeah, it looks like the dividends have more than offset the unrealized loss. But yes, we do still have our shares here, and we also still have our shares on Webull. Obviously, not the best price on Webull, unfortunately, but sometimes that does happen. But a lot of investors that invest in dividend paying stocks, they don't really care what the price is as long as they get a good price when they buy the stock. And we we personally think that kweb and KLIP are actually cheap right now. So if we didn't think it was worth holding on to, we wouldn't actually still be holding our shares. Just so y'all know, we can cut the loss anytime we want to, get rid of them, but we're not, because we think that China could have a really great recovery this year and also potentially into next year. So anyways, with that being said, the dividends per share is basically just shy of 62 cents, as you can see here. It was announced today. So the amount that we will collect personally from this is just over $206 in dividends. So now if we go over to the KLIP CraneShares website, you guys can see the distribution percentage here was 4%. The amount is 61 cents per share, and it's going to get paid out in 2 days. So 2 days from now would end up being on Thursday. Now, the most important thing that I want to point out here, obviously the dividends are important, but what matters here is what the underlying does, because that kind of determines the price of KLIP. I want to point out to you guys that this is a decade-long support level. Okay, that every time we've hit this support level over the course of a decade, it has bounced from that point. So we can measure each one of these moves. You see here from swing low to swing high, it had a 70% move. Here from swing low to swing high, it had a massive 156% move. If we want to measure this all the way to the absolute tippy top here, you guys can see it was like some nearly 300% or something. Probably a little over 300% on that move. And then from this swing low to this swing high here, not quite as big, but still pretty large, about 81%. And from this most recent, or the previous swing low, I should say, to the swing high, roughly about 108%. So recently we had a swing low, as you guys know, but the question is, will we get a swing high? So we do have this kind of a downtrend that we're looking to break to the upside here. Again, keep in mind, this is on decade-long support. This is also within a falling wedge pattern. That's generally speaking, the probability favors the bulls on a falling wedge. In terms of technical price patterns, a falling wedge is a very bullish pattern. So the big point I would say to make here is that over the course of an entire decade, okay, so we've seen a lot of things over a decade. We've seen the Fed raise rates in 2018. We've seen China-U.S. trade wars. We have seen the pandemic of 2020, the bear market of 2022, and of course all the wars and stuff going on right now, illegal immigration, you name it. Like, we've seen all this stuff, right? And over the course of that time, this support zone on kweb has been held firmly for 10 years, okay? Going on almost 11 years at this point. So I would say it's pretty important that that's understood when investing in KLIP, that the underlying has a very strong support. Does it mean it can't break through that support? No. But I mean, it is a decade-long support, so the probability that this thing is going to break below this support zone is pretty much zero. Obviously, nothing's ever zero, but you kind of get my point here. The longer that it holds the support, the more likely it is that it's not going to break. So, pretty much what we're looking out for here in terms of a potential upside on KLIP is a breakout, pretty much of any of the kind that I'm going to show you guys here on the charts. So anything that kind of looks like this, a flat top, a downtrending bullish breakout line like here, falling wedge pattern. These are all a breakout of these are generally all bullish. So if we do end up getting a breakout in the coming weeks and months out of this falling wedge pattern, you guys are probably wondering what the target for that is. So the immediate target for that, let's just assume we get it like somewhere down here, and I don't know, let's just say May. Okay, we'll just pick a hypothetical point that this thing could break out. As you guys can see, is pretty much right at the top of the wedge. So you'd be looking at about a $35 KWeb. I mean, that's still a pretty big move. Even from the breakout point alone, that's about 35%. If we measure that from the current price to the target move, it's still pretty large. It's just a little bit over 35%. So pretty big move. I would say that KLIP could probably pick up about half of that, so about a 17% gain. If we take a look at the current price of KLIP, you guys can see the current price is $14.18. We'll just see if we can measure this out. Or sorry, $14.68. So $14.68. We'll just round half of that move up on the underlying up and say it's 18%. So 0.18 is how you would do this. So times 0.18. So basically a $2.64 gain on the share price. Again, this is all hypothetical. We'll just have to wait and see how it plays out. But that could put KLIP back up at $17.32 per share, hypothetically. Of course, this move could be a lot bigger too. I mean, it could end up moving up to any of these points. It could go all the way up here to $40. It could go to 66. It could go to $80. It could go to $100. We really don't know at this point. That's just kind of the immediate target if this thing does break bullish. So anyways, this is our video on the KLIP ETF dividends for the month of February. Hope you all enjoyed this content. Please like, comment, and subscribe, and we will see y'all later. Peace.